I remember the moment clearly. Not because it was loud, but because nothing happened. No argument. No raised voice. No disrespect. I was talking. They were looking at me. And yet, I wasn't being heard. At first, I thought it was just distraction. A long day. A tired mind. So I repeated myself. A little slower. A little clearer. They nodded. Smiled. Said, "Yeah. I know." And then the conversation moved on. As if my words had never existed. That was the moment. Not when they disagreed with me. Not when they challenged me. But when my voice stopped shaping the room. I didn't feel angry. I felt displaced. Like furniture that's still useful. Just no longer central. There was a time when my children needed me. Not emotionally. Practically. They needed answers. They needed permission. They needed protection. My words carried weight because they had consequences. If I spoke, something changed. I stayed up late worrying about choices they couldn't yet see. I made decisions they didn't understand at the time. And I was confident. Not because I was perfect, but because responsibility gives you authority. I earned my voice through sacrifice. Through years of showing up. Through being steady when life wasn't. Back then, advice wasn't interference. It was expected. Now, something has shifted. I notice it in small ways. Suggestions receive a polite smile, but no follow-up. Concerns are met with, "I've got it handled." Stories from my past are listened to, but not absorbed. There is no argument to respond to. No disagreement to defend. Just a gentle wall of independence. My advice didn't become wrong. It became inconvenient. Not because it lacked truth, but because it came from a life they no longer live. And I understand that. I really do. Times are different. The world moves faster. Choices carry new risks. But understanding doesn't erase the ache. Because what hurts isn't disagreement.
It's politeness. They are kind to me. They listen just enough to be respectful. They don't interrupt. They don't dismiss me openly. They simply don't carry my words with them afterward. Politeness creates distance without conflict. It leaves no place to speak from. If they argued, at least I'd know my words landed. If they disagreed, at least I'd know they engaged. But polite silence, that tells you your voice is no longer required. Sometimes I ask myself questions I never expected to ask. When did my experience become outdated? When did wisdom start having an expiration date? Did I raise them to be strong? Or to be distant? Did I teach independence too well? These questions don't accuse. They wonder. Because I'm proud of them. That's what makes this complicated. They are capable, thoughtful, responsible. They don't need me the way they once did. And that's how it should be. Still, there is a quiet grief in becoming optional. I don't blame them. Their lives are heavier than mine ever were at their age. More information. More pressure. More speed. They solve problems I never had to imagine. And I know that sometimes my voice feels like a slowdown they can't afford. So I choose my words carefully now. I pause before speaking. I ask myself, is this helpful, or is this habit? And sometimes, I stay quiet. Not because I have nothing to say, but because I'm learning what it means to love without influence. That may be the hardest transition of all. To care deeply and speak lightly. To watch decisions unfold without steering them. To trust paths you would not have chosen. This isn't bitterness. It's adjustment. And adjustment takes time. Sometimes, late at night, I replay conversations in my head. Not to correct them. Just to hear my own voice again. To remember when it mattered. I don't want control. I don't want obedience. I just want to know That what I've lived still has a place. That experience doesn't become invisible, simply because it's no longer new. Maybe this is part of the natural order. Maybe every generation must outgrow the one before it, to become itself. I can accept that. What I'm still learning to accept is the quiet. The long pauses after I speak. The way conversations end before they deepen. If you're listening to this, I won't tell you what to do. I won't give advice. I'll just leave you with a thought. There may come a moment, quiet and unannounced, when someone who once shaped your life realizes their voice no longer shapes yours. And you won't notice it happening. But they will. That realization doesn't ask for guilt. Only awareness. And perhaps a little more listening than feels necessary.